All right, guys, Coach Adrian here. Today on the Brute Shoot, we're going to discuss the value of training partners. This is something that I get asked a lot from a lot of different athletes. That means that falls in regards to the recreational CrossFit and even the elite athlete or those chasing the elite athlete level in our sport. As a coach, I interact with most of the athletes that I train via email, some on phone and some rarely on like a Skype type interaction, but nonetheless, everyone's curious about training partners and what the appropriate environment is like to train in. And I will tell you guys this, that training partners can greatly dictate the outcome of any training regime. It doesn't matter what you're training for. If you have the appropriate training team around you, it can certainly elevate your performance. And obviously, in our sport, you want to be surrounded by athletes that are hungry like you're hungry. And what I mean by that is their goals have to match your goals. So it's not always necessary for you to match up talent with talent, right? You guys are probably very familiar with athletes training with others that are not quite near their talent level, right? If you guys think back to years ago as athletes start to attain this title of fittest in the world, certainly those athletes aren't training with other direct athletes that are also the fittest in the world, but they're training with people that can push them in different avenues. So that means maybe in the past, Rich or Ben Smith or Matt Frazier, for an example, on the men's side, have surrounded themselves with guys that are a little stronger than them. And maybe they have a few partners that are a little bit more advantageous on the gymnastics side of things, and maybe they have one or two training partners that pushes them a lot in the endurance side of things. So I think having a good balance is always great, but the number one priority is that the goals and the intent of the people around you needs to be on your level or above your level. A lot of times, and I'll use myself as an example, I came into the sport in 2011 training only by myself, training in a gym that wasn't even a CrossFit affiliate, doing what I could to mimic all the CrossFit movements that I thought would be tested in the open. Fast forward to a year and a half later where I got the opportunity to start training at Ute CrossFit with Tommy Hackenbrook and the rest of our team, and my performances exponentially increased. There was nowhere for me to hide behind what I wanted to do every day because I had to be training in the same kind of environment that everyone else was. And obviously Tommy was kind of leading our way with programming for the rest of us. But the unique thing about what I noticed with training with a group is that my expectations naturally raised to the same level that Tommy had for himself. And so what I mean was, when I was training by myself, maybe I would always make the comparison like, hey, I'm not on the world scale level quite yet, or I've only been doing this sport for a year. It's okay for me not to beat all the athletes in all the workouts. And all of a sudden, the environment that I was surrounded in was win at all costs every day. And so this natural drive to compete within our own group and even outside of our own gym was something that was very important on a regular basis. So that means if we were building up to a heavy overhead squat, like every day was going to be a PR for our overhead squat. If we were doing Fran, we were going to set PRs for Fran, and not only was I going to PR my time, but I was going to die trying to beat Tommy and Michael and the other athletes that we were training with. So the environment is very important. It also raises the natural intensity. This is something that you can be excited about, and also you got to have a little precaution about. So if you're an athlete that is kind of pursuing the elite level in regards to CrossFit and our sport specifically, you can't always be going 100% of the days of the week. So you have to understand the variance that needs to take place within your preparation, especially training at the volume that a lot of athletes are training at nowadays in our sport. If every day I line up and go head to head 100 miles per hour against all of my peers at the gym, what that will lead to is often a setback in my fitness. So I think there's great value, and specifically when you train multiple times a day, to have a few sessions within each week that you train alone. And what that could look like is you simply doing some percentage work in your lifts, or maybe you're doing endurance intervals at the track or on a bike where the accountability isn't head-to-head competition, it's more about the watch or the time that you need to meet or the heart rate pace that you must stay within. But there's unique opportunity when you have the appropriate training group for you to be able to lead and to be able to follow. So there's a skill set that's unique enough that can you chase someone down in a workout? You're only going to learn that by actually getting your butt kicked in a couple workouts and learning how to thrive and make up that distance that someone has already created in separation throughout a workout. There's also a unique skill in being able to lead from the front in a workout. And if you don't experience this in realms of competition, you'll always, one, worry if you've gone too fast and you're in the front. You will run the risk of blowing up, not knowing your own threshold if you've never led a workout. But there are unique opportunities in every instance with a good training group that you'll get to experience if the programming reflects a well-balanced group at least. With that being said, if you find yourself training with a group where you're always chasing, like every workout, you're always being left in the dust, or you always find yourself winning every workout, whether it's a strength biased workout, a gymnastics biased workout, or an endurance biased workout, these both can be detrimental to your overall performance. One, it leads to some self-arrogance and self-reassurance that won't exist when you're competing against the best of the best in the entire world. So you need to know and learn what it feels like to lose, what it feels like to win, and what it feels like to be somewhere in the middle of the pack. And I think the best way to do that is also to create variance within your training group. So, for us here at Wasatch CrossFit, we're trying to put together a great team to make a shot or make a running attempt at gaining back the Affiliate Cup and bringing it back here to Utah. And one of the unique things that we try to do is get together 3 to 4 days a week as a large group. But that always doesn't work out. And so what happens is sometimes we have small groups that train together with 3 or 4 athletes at once. And I think it's a great thing because it creates a shakeup in who we're training with. And so there are certain athletes that thrive in particular workouts and others that thrive in other workouts. So it gives each individual athlete an opportunity to lead, an opportunity to follow, an opportunity to win and lose. The bottom line, guys, is that when you're trying to select a training environment, maybe this means you're searching for a community in a gym that's going to push you to the next level. Whether you're the recreational CrossFitter or you're the person that is brand new to the sport even, or if you're trying to pursue this at an elite level, and that means you're one of the top 50 in the open, I would consider in your region, still a very elite level nowadays, and you're pursuing that top 20 to qualify, or you're pursuing what you need to do to get you over that cusp to make it to the CrossFit Games and be one of the top 5s in any given region. The bottom line about all those things, or wherever you fall, is that you will become the athletes that you surround yourself with. So again, if their goals don't match your goals, if their focus doesn't match your focus, if they don't sleep how you need to sleep in order to prepare, and they're doing things late at night and they're eating like crap, like you'll become those people. So I encourage you to get out, make new relationships, train at other gyms periodically to get into new communities and to just make friends that maybe have different talent levels or strengths and weaknesses than you do. And be mindful that training partners are extremely important. And, don't be afraid to switch it up. And the training alone can definitely be something that you sporadically want to sprinkle in to learn how to just suffer and learn your own pace. But get out there and find a solid group that lines up with your expectations as an athlete.